Welcome back to another edition of Figures from the Attic. Today we're back with another figure unboxing and review, this time of Batista, but not the Batista that you're probably thinking of. This is something I found at a GameStop of all places. I wandered into one just randomly, and it turns out that they're actually selling more action figures these days than they are video games, which I thought was interesting. But I found this on the pegs at GameStop, and it kind of piqued my interest. This is Drax, aka Dave Batista, from the movie Guardians of the Galaxy. As you can see, GameStop was nice enough to mark it down from $24.99 to $21.98. I wonder who came up with that number up at the corporate level of GameStop. $21.98, very specific. But I saw this and I thought, pretty funny. Pretty interesting to add to my collection. As you can see, I do have a Mattel WWE Batista right here. This is actually one that I have on display. Figured I'd bring it out for this review, but let's go ahead and open this. This is one of the plastic-free packaging options that Marvel Legends uses. I've actually never had a figure or unboxed a figure in this type of packaging before, so let's see how that goes. First thing I see is, I think it's a Build-A-Figure piece. It looks like maybe an arm. I'll open that in a second. Let's see, in this plastic-free, it's hard to see what the figure looks like because normally you have a plastic window right in the front where you can clearly see what you're getting. This is kind of a shot in the dark if you're gonna like it or not. Let's see, okay, that's interesting. So it comes in this cardboard. So it's plastic free, but it's definitely not cardboard free. And then it comes in this little, like, almost bakery cookie bag. That's the thing. Not quite as satisfying as opening up the regular conventional packaging, but I'm not gonna complain. This is definitely interesting. Let's see. So again, this is my first time opening a Marvel Legends action figure, and it's of course Batista. The first thing that strikes me is kind of how wide he is. I mean, obviously Dave Batista is a big guy, and Drax, he's a very big character, so it makes sense, but I expected something a little smaller for some reason. He might actually be bigger than the Mattel. He's definitely not taller. The Mattel one is definitely taller. Yeah, by a whole head, if you see that. It looks like the WWE Batista is significantly taller, but the the Marvel Batista is wider. It looks like he has a broader chest, broader back. It's interesting. And very tight joints on this guy. As you can see, let me give you a closer look of Drax. There he is in all his glory. You see the kind of bluish gray tint to his skin tone. There's the red markings over his eyes. They're also in the back of his head. He's wearing like a spacesuit, so he's not in his traditional Drax attire with, I think, like pants and no shirt on top. This is kind of like him in the spaceship with the rest of the gang flying the, I forget the name of that spaceship, but if you've seen the movie, you know what I'm talking about. But yeah, it's like a blue and red spacesuit. It's got really thick, heavy boots. These actually almost look like wrestling boots. Actually, in general, I could see someone coming out in wrestling with a gear like this, maybe like an entrance gear, takes off the top and wrestles in these pants. This actually looks like a wrestling action figure. Just a guy put some face paint on and a funky suit. He does have the torso articulation, which is nice. That's very smooth. The 360 arms. You've got the double jointed elbows, which is very nice. Right there. Double jointed knees. And you've got a thigh articulation. Thigh articulation I never understood. Now that we're on the subject, I've never understood thigh articulation on an action figure. This Batista has it as well. Because human legs, I mean, you don't bend them at the thigh. You can't do this with a human. So in what situation would you ever need to pose someone, say for example like this? I mean, unless they broke their leg or something, but whatever. But yeah, I mean, as you can see, it's interesting because you would think a superhero movie, you want the character to be larger than life, but they made him shorter than real life Batista, at least according to Mattel. or the way that they imagined him. But it's a good figure. I like the figure. Pretty bare bones, you know, not a lot of accessories. There is this one Build-A-Figure piece, which I guess we could open up now. Let's see, you get 2 daggers. And you get an arm. Oh, a leg. It's like a paw. It looks like a non-human paw. And which character is this supposed to be? Oh, yeah, of course. Cosmo. So I guess I got one of the paws for Cosmo. There you go. As an overall score, it's kind of hard to relatively judge because I mainly do wrestling figure reviews, traditional, you know, Mattel, Jakks, things like that. But in a vacuum, just as a figure itself, I would give this, I mean, it looks just like him. It looks just like him. The colors are nice and bold. The joints are nice and tight. You can move it very well, very posable. This is a good figure. I go 8 out of 10 on this one. 8 out of 10. Just to make it a little different, let's go 8.1. I'm going to start introducing not only 0.0, 0.5, I'll do something in between. 8.1 for this one, to do it a little bit different. 8.1, and compared to this Batista, I guess this Batista is also pretty bare bones. This is also in that same range. I'll probably do a full review for this eventually, so let's do no spoilers on what I would give this one, but 8.1 for the Drax. As always, thanks again for watching.